Hello and welcome to my Multimedia Project. The driving question of this project was, how did the three major works of medieval literature impact your earlier thinking about medieval literature? So this is what I thought about medieval literature before the unit. There had to be three essential parts which made up the story. Good versus evil, there must have been some sort of character flaw, and there must have been forbidden love. So how I thought major character flaws was because in Sir Tristram and the Fair Isoult, Tristram could not contain his love for Isoult, and that disobeyed his lord, which was a character flaw. And another example was when Gawain decided to do the unchivalrous thing and flinch because he was scared for his death. Forbidden love in Sir Tristram and Fair Isoult. Isoult decides to make love to Tristram, although she is wed to the King Mark. This is forbidden love. And also in The Two Lovers, a short story we read for an in-class essay, the two lovers were not supposed to be in love, but they did anyway. So here's a quote. Um, he loved the princess, and she loved him back, but no one knew except for the two alone. So secret they were, fearing the king's wrath. Good versus evil. A great example of good versus evil in the medieval romances was when evil King Morgan Le Fay decided to challenge King Arthur in the Knights of the Round Table. The Green Knight explains how Morgan sent him on a mission to try to fault the knights. It was she who sent me to your splendid halls to make trial of your pride, and to see whether there was truth in the reports that run through the world of the great renown of the Round Table. My thoughts on medieval literature. At this point, my thoughts of medieval literature were fairly straightforward. I thought that all medieval literature had a moral, which was about chivalry, love affairs, being a knight, and so on. I also did see some religion, but not as much as the other morals. Um, while reading the other three major medieval works, I saw that there were rhyming structures, um, different morals now, and evidence show of Christianity. So rhyming patterns. Uh, the Beowulf used alliteration, which was when the first letter of the every word started with the same letter. So, like for example, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. That's alliteration. Rhyming structure. So Canterbury Tales used a couplet, which was an AABBCC. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam, I am. And Dante's Inferno used terza rima, which was the structure that rhymed A, B, A, B, C, B, C, D, C, and so on. So Beowulf's morals were about heroism, loyalty, and honor. It painted a glorious heroes, but there weren't other morals other than just being a hero. The Canterbury Tales had morals, but there were a lot of different morals because Canterbury Tales was about um, different short stories. So in each short story, there was a moral. For example, in The Pardoner's Tale, the moral of the story was greed was the root of all evil. Dante's Inferno had a moral which was justice would be served by God. So like the worst things you did on earth, the worse hell was for you. As you can see in the picture, there were layers of hell. So comparing and contrasting the two units, the three works did not have a defined characteristic to all their main characters. Um, the romances did have some correlation, but not as much, not much. And the three works did have had none. They both had morals to the story. So the three works had very different sort of morals, but the romances all had very similar morals. So in a sense, they were similar because they did have the same they did have morals, yet they were different because they didn't have the same morals. So in the end, I thought that the new unit supported and extended my thoughts on medieval literature. Um, my new thoughts were that there wasn't a strict outline that a story must cover. For example, I thought that they had to have forbidden love or something, but um, there was no strict outline, yet there had to have been some sort of moral that we could take away from the story, and also people can learn from them. Um, Also, Christianity was evident through all six of the things we read. Um, it wasn't, sometimes it's not as visible as other times. For example, in Dante's Inferno, it was very, very visible, but in some of the romances, it wasn't as visible. So yeah, so that was my new thought on medieval literature after reading this new unit. Thank you very much for listening to my multimedia project. Thank you.